you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. I'm gonna fight! I got my turn to be the champion of the world! I'm taking my turn.
This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray.
I used to crowd the plate so that Strike Zone almost disappeared.
The king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king.
Your only job was to look after the king. How could you let him come to such a pass?
You have a son.
You have come to me, my son. I am the wellspring from which you flow.
You gave your word with the people of the United States.
Give yourself to the dark side.
We are the United States government. We don't do that sort of thing.
That torpedo did not self-destruct. You heard it hit the hull, and I was never here. I go ton for ton loading coal with any man here. When I do, I expect the same dollar for the same work.
No majority ever gave a minority a fair share of the loot without force.
You must have learned a great deal more than you bargained for through this experience, Mr. Watson.
Then we're back to the income and the outcome and the deducting, and you drive me to drink.
You don't know nothing, baby.
Major Kong, is it possible this is some kind of loyalty test?
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. I am your father.
Hey everybody, it's Mike, and welcome to the Real Black Podcast. Sad day. One of the greats, James Earl Jones, passed away this morning at the age of 93. And we just want to send our condolences, our prayers out to the families, and spend a little bit of time discussing his career, his life, his legacy. If you don't know, James Earl Jones was born January 17th, 1931, and he's a EGOT, which means he won the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, and the Tony. And he's just one of the greats. As you can see, we just looked at his reel from IMDb, courtesy of imdb.com. And with us on the line is Charles Woods, our resident historian and movie expert. Welcome, Charles.
Mike, I was saying, how'd you do that so fast? But I see IMDb down there. Peace and blessings.
Shout out to IMDb.
Yeah, peace and blessings to the Real Black family. I'm get political right quick.
Okay. Okay. All right. Statement enough. It's a little dark. I'm going to pull away for a second just so you can see it. Hang on. So it's a LA. Okay. All right. Well, Patrice says it's good to see you. So
this hat, you know whose hat this is, right?
Oh, okay. Now you're frozen. You broke up a little bit. Please repeat.
This hat, you know what this hat represents?
What it represents? No, I've never seen that logo before.
Kamala.
Okay. All right. We may have some issues with your signals. Let's hope we stay connected. We have 105 people in the room tonight, so let's pay our tribute. And for those watching now, we're going to premiere.
What the hell does this have to do with James Earl Jones?
Okay. You said Kamala.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fair. So this is a mournful day. We've got a few clips lined up. I do want to let people know that around 9 o'clock Eastern time, we're going to run The Man which is a rare James Earl Jones film in which he plays the first Black president. So that'll go live, and we can comment then as well. But
there
you know,
go.
when you heard the news, I called you up. What were your first thoughts when you heard the news that
But
Mr.
it's funny. I asked you, what does this have to do with Kamala? And you said 9 o'clock, you're going to show the man. He played the first Black president.
Okay.
She may become the first woman Black president.
True. Okay. So degree of separation there. You know, hang on. I'm gonna take you away for a second. All right. So what's the over-under, family, on Charles throwing out a pun this episode? I say it's 6:50 now. We'll get a pun in the next 5 minutes. I think 5 is the over-under. All right, you didn't hear that. Anyway, where were you when you got the news?
I think I was watching partially watching a Samson movie, a Machiste movie, and getting ready to listen to some do some reading and whatnot. But you know, when you called, my thoughts were, wow, we lost another giant. We tried to get to see him and Cicely.
Yeah, well, hang on. I need you to redo the restart or something. You're breaking up. It's like it sounds like you're in a tin can.
Okay.
So I'll give you a minute. Maybe try the other computer again.
Yeah. Let me
delay.
Let me come back to you.
Okay, I'll play another clip. All right. So Charles is working on this technical thing. I'll go through the chat while we're waiting for Charles to come back because we have a ton of comments. Feel free to leave your comments as we reset this. But let's see. Takashi Mandela is in the building. R.I.P. to Kim Jaffe Jaffer. Loving tribute to our foundation, Black American icon, James Earl Jones. Love it. Yeah, I mean, he is an FBA and legacy. You know, his father, Robert Earl Jones, was a great actor as well. And we'll talk a little bit about that when Charles gets back. Forever the King, the voice and legend, Mississippi born and world renowned. He is forever missed. Thomas Anderson. R.I.P. Mr. Jones, Patrina Johnson, a noble man. R.I.P. to a legend, truly a legend. R.I.P. Very sad day. Incredible body of work. Thank you, Mr. Jones. R.I.P. I'm just skipping through these, hopscotching through this stuff. There's a way. Yeah, his sound is not coming through good. I'd rather hear him than see him. So I can see he's working on it. It's just going to be a minute. Claudine, my all-time favorite movie role by him. Let's jump ahead to that. Let's go to the trailer for Claudine, and we'll discuss.
Wait a minute. It's 139 Edgecombe Avenue. My name is Claudine. Claudine Price.
Rupert P. Marshall. 7 o'clock.
Claudine and Rupert are working on a project, a love project.
When I get to know you better, maybe. I said maybe.
And while they're working hard to get it together, the world's working harder to keep them apart.
Hello? Miss Claudine Price Leaper?
Yeah.
6 kids in 4 rooms.
36 and it ain't old.
It's too old to be messing around.
20th Century Fox presents James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll in Claudine.
Cool it. Your mama's going on a date, like a nice restaurant, some fine music.
It's gonna wind up chicken anyway.
Mom, it's Miss K back to social worker.
Society gave us no choice. Tried to silence my voice, pushing me on the welfare.
Well,
don't just stand there, honey. Let her in.
This man may be bringing things into your home which you may not be deducting. Now, you know I have to deduct you on those things.
What things? What things, damn it? You have a man come over for dinner, he brings you a bottle of wine. I have a man come over for dinner, he brings me a damn six-pack. Oh, there are two left, Miss Payback. Would you like a beer?
If you've ever laughed, you'll dig Claudine.
You're the gentleman that's been keeping company here.
Oh, no, ma'am. I'm just a garbage man.
Oh, well, may I have your name, please?
Simpson X, that's it. You've heard of Malcolm X? I'm Simpson X.
If you've ever cried, you'll dig Claudine.
Mama, I'm not a baby anymore.
I know you're not a baby, but you're not a woman either.
I'm nothing. That's what I am. I don't know nothing. I don't have nothing. I'm nothing.
If you've ever had dreams, you'll dig Claudine.
I have actually avoided success. Oh, no. You know why? Because when you are successful and rich, people will envy you and hate you. And I want people to love me.
If you've ever had troubles, you'll dig Claudine.
Monty, baby. Hey! Cheer up. It could get worse. I cheered up, and the law was right. It got worse.
If you've got heart.
Suppose I do not marry this lady. Now, if I move in with her and do not tell you, then we're both crooks, right? But if I do tell you, then we're back to the income and the outcome and the deducting, and you drive me to drink. And you call a fraud if I spend $7 for a bottle of whiskey.
If you've got soul.
But there's one thing you better know. And that is, I love all of y'all.
If you're young, old, rich, poor, black, white, or green, you'll dig Claudine.
Yeah, so that's Claudine trailer. We're still waiting on Charles to log back in. Charles Woods will be joining us shortly. Yeah, Claudine was based in, the question here was Claudine based in Chicago. No, it was shot in Harlem, for sure. And originally, Diana Sands was to play Claudine, but Diane Carroll took over the role after Diana Sands got ill with cancer. So, yeah. But, yeah, we got a lot of family in the house. I don't want to keep y'all waiting. But, yeah, we lost a legend today with the great James Earl Jones. So, yeah, waiting for Charles to log in. Let's find another clip as we reminisce over and give tribute to the late great James Earl Jones. This one I put on earlier today from the River Niger. I should have made a longer clip, but here we go.
I am the River Niger. Hear my waters. I wriggle and stream and run. I am totally flexible. I am the River Niger. Hear my waters. My waters are the first sperm of the world, when the earth was but a faceless, whistling embryo. Life burst from my liquid kernels like popcorn. Hear my waters, rushing and popping in muffled finger drum staccato. It is life you hear, stretching its limbs in my waters. I am the River Niger.
Yeah, so River Niger, that's one that's on the channel if you want to check it out. It's a feature film from 1974, I want to say. And it's a great movie. It's got Lou Gossett and Cicely Tyson and, of course, James Earl Jones. If you go to the channel and you search James Earl Jones and Reelblack, you'll find a lot of great content. It's another video I can share with you while we wait for Charles. Is this one? It's a lot of fun. Oh, wait, where is it? Did I not pull it? Here it is.
Introducing the Variations Freedom Package from Verizon. Go ahead, nothing's stopping you. Make all the calls you want. With unlimited calling, feel free to call anytime to anyone. Across town, across state, or across the country, even to Canada. No time restrictions, no limits on who you can call. Plus 5 services, including caller ID and home voicemail, all on one bill.
Call 1-800-359-7897 to sign up for just under $60 a month. You'll save over $240 every year.
And save more when you sign up for wireless and DSL.
Call 1-800-359-7897 for the freedom of unlimited calling.
So what's stopping you? Verizon. Make progress every day.
Yeah, so those who remember the Funk Fridays, I always would play that clip. I love the clip of James Earl Jones breakdancing. I'm not sure if we can get Charles back anytime soon. So I guess I'll ask the chat, what are some of your favorite James Earl Jones performances? I saw one Caleb left earlier where he was talking about being a king. He played King Lear on Broadway for Joseph Papp. He also played the Lion King and the King from Coming to America. Those are the 3 I can think of. Is there another king? You said that he played 3 different kings. So I'm thinking that that's Darth Vader's the king. Fences in Star Wars. Conan the Barbarian. Caleb picks Fences in Star Wars. Mufasa. Bingo Long. Bingo Long was great. We never got a chance to have James Earl Jones on the show, but we did have a personal connection, Charles and I, to James Earl Jones that he'll share with you once he gets back on. I'm going to check in. I do not have a way for him just to call in. But let's see. Coming to America. I agree. I think Coming to America is my favorite James Earl Jones performance, but I did like him in The Great White Hope quite a bit. That's a powerful film if you haven't seen it. The Great White Hope, yes. Okay, here's Charles coming back. I'll wait for him to give me the thumbs up, and hopefully we'll have him in a second. If I'm not frozen now, I'm having issues. Okay. All right, Charles is back. It looks like he's got the other computer going. Vernon Johns story. That's one not a lot of people know about. It's a TV movie from the 90s, I believe. He did a great job. You ready, Charles? Charles, all right, we have a little delay. I just need a thumbs up before I bring you on. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if you had the delay still. Can you hear? Is it okay?
Yeah, you're coming through fine. I don't know. I got to check all my computers.
Okay, you sound good.
Okay.
Yeah, the other one, I don't know. When you watch the replay, it was like sound like you're in a tin can. So, all right, we're back, everybody. It's 7:04. So I missed the over/under because of the technical difficulties, Charles.
Oh, you mean on the pun thing?
Yeah, it's still doing the sound thing, but anyway, we'll deal with it. Yeah, you got to come up with a pun soon because I lost the bet. But so Charles? What are some of your favorite James Earl Jones? Well, talk about his background first, and then let's do a proper tribute. Robert Earl Jones was his father.
Yeah, I see. We're gonna have issues.
Okay,
I apologize.
We'll deal with it.
I knew his father. His father came to one of my lectures in Harlem, and then afterwards, he was going to give me some pointers on speaking. You know, um, how to use your breath and things like that. His father was someone uh, who started out with the early black cinema, and then
Mm-hmm.
he did a few films. I think his most famous film was the one he did with Redford uh, and Newman,
Oh, um,
where he was the catalyst.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
No,
Or the
no, it's
Sting.
when he was the
Sting.
catalyst. He gets huh
The Sting.
the Sting, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But his father got hit by a car. Many people didn't think he would survive, but that's how strong he was. He survived the car accident, and for a while he was staying not far from where I had the first 43rd chamber.
Mm.
But getting to James Earl Jones, if I'm coming through okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Well, just keep going. I'll stop things if it gets real bad. But you sound good.
Okay. But as far as James Earl Jones is concerned, you know, it's he's someone who, he had to overcome a stuttering problem.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people would find that hard to believe because along with the fact that he became a great actor, many people recognize him for his voice. And nowhere film wise did his voice have such a commanding presence than in the Star Wars series.
Mm. Absolutely.
And what's interesting about that, one of the complaints from a representational perspective, as far as blacks are concerned in motion pictures, one of the complaints about the fantasy films is that they rarely showed blacks early on. And so the closest thing they had to a black character in Star Wars was the voice of James Earl Jones, who played Darth Vader. And many people felt that was a play on the words Dark Invader.
Mm. Good one.
But good.
Yeah. So he gets his start. We got a couple clips here. When was the first time you became aware of him? Like the earliest film appearance I can imagine him being in is Doctor Strangelove.
Well, it's interesting with Doctor Strangelove. Um, that was around 64.
Yeah, actually, that was his film debut. He had done some theater and
Yeah,
television
yeah.
before that.
And I was trying to find James Earl Jones's biography, which I put up trying to make space. But he complained about his role in that film in his biography. He
Doctor
felt
Strangelove.
it was stereotypical, and he had some issues with that particular role.
Because he.
Well, what happens is a lot of times when they use blacks, and because you don't have blacks being shown on screen through the lens of other blacks, basically our imagery is through someone else's lens, and
Mm.
from that perspective, we don't really have the authenticity that if blacks were more involved in the creativity perspective, the creativity sense,
Mm-hmm.
they would be able to give more authenticity. So a lot of times, even Lou Gossett, he spoke about things he had to deal with uh, early on because basically the people who are writing these stories about blacks, they have no idea of what blacks are all about. It's all based on common tropes and stereotypes.
Mm.
So uh, James Earl Jones spoke about the issues he had with his character in Doctor Strangelove. Then the other thing that's important, and is something I told you, that if you're going to show clips of James Earl Jones, one of the most powerful, iconic series that didn't last too long because there was an attempt at authenticity. Uh, East Side, West Side, which came on in '63. Well, what was famous, we discussed this some time ago when we were talking about Cicely Tyson and Cicely Tyson's hairdo.
Mm-hmm.
One of the creators of the East Side, West Side series was Arnold Pearl. And Arnold Pearl is someone that people look up. He was one of the writers on Malcolm X. He did his own documentary, and then he was part of the writers with the Malcolm X story. But Arnold Pearl is an interesting person. And he may have been, if I remember correctly, I think Arnold Pearl is the reason why, in his connection with Cotton Comes to Harlem, he was supposed to be the original director. But he felt it would be better, once again, if he hears someone, a white person, saying, I think in terms of authenticity, he advocated for Ossie Davis to direct Cotton Comes to Harlem. So that's how Ossie Davis got the role.
Well, let's go back to East Side, West Side. I mean, this entire episode is on the channel. It's cut a little bit. It's the best version available, but it's a very famous episode. It was reflective of the times. It got a lot of attention at the time. Can you set up the clip that we're going to watch from East Side, West Side?
Yeah, well, and I'll explain, because this is great. This show, which many felt was a great show, once again, you have blacks presented in a dysfunctional way. So what happens is, because he can't get a job, James Earl Jones's character can't get a job, and until he is able to get something that's substantial, basically the breadwinner is his wife, played by Diana Sands. But he doesn't want her to work in a bar, and they're living in a rundown tenement. So the scene that's coming up is where the preacher, who's played by a person I used to hang out with, Maxie Glanville, he's a preacher, and he wants to raise issues about the conditions blacks have to live in. And James Earl Jones comes in, and he's got issues with the whole thing about protesting.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at a clip from 1963, one of James Earl Jones's earliest television appearances. East Side, West Side. I misspelled East, so I just want to put that up real fast.
To keep from crying. For violence betrays our cause. Ruth!
Joe?
You better come with me.
We are having a meeting.
Man, you crazy. You're all crazy. You're talking and my kid is laying in a butcher shop.
Joe, don't.
How do you want to change the world when you can't even help my kid?
Goodwin, will you please?
Man, I'm talking about the truth here and now. Not a lot of people singing, protesting, and praying for the future. I am talking about now, this second. My kid is dying.
Definitely worth checking out if you have not seen that yet. But
and the reason why I wanted you to show that clip is Maxie. I spoke to Maxie. Maxie used to tell me a lot of things. Maxie was good friends with Sidney. He was part of Sidney's posse. But what's interesting about East Side, West Side, you had Cicely Tyson, whom one of the more recent works that, as they said, James Earl Jones was a busy octogenarian. One of his last works was the Gin Game they did, I think in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that with Cicely Tyson. The person playing his wife is Diana Sands. Now, this is what's interesting. Diana Sands was supposed to play Claudine with James Earl Jones, but
Right.
she died.
I touched on it while you were away. Yeah.
Okay, she died because of cancer. So who takes her place is Diane Carroll. Interestingly enough, whom one of the popular films with James Earl Jones is Claudine, whom he played with Diane Carroll in that film.
Yeah. Diana Sands, not in Fences. She passed away in the 70s. She was in the original Raisin in the Sun, Donna Sands.
Yeah,
But and you see her briefly in this clip. She's a woman that plays the wife, so he pulls her out of the church. Diana Sands.
Yeah, and you know, one of the projects I'm working on is it's this image of like Ishmael Reed said, you know, black dysfunction is big business for white America, but usually when they have black men and women in a heterosexual relationship, it's usually the breadwinner. This matriarchal image is the woman, and the person who's struggling, not pulling his weight as far as the race, the social familial relationship is concerned, is the man. He's always struggling, and that was an image that was projected in this episode.
Right. No, I mean, we don't have enough time to go through all the great James Earl Jones performances. But what are some of your favorites?
Well, I liked him in I think a lot of people will always remember him fondly for his role as the father in Coming to America.
Mm-hmm.
The Vernon Johns story is a film, a TV production. I think a lot of people haven't seen it. They should see it. It's of a historical significance. Vernon Johns is the preacher who preceded Martin Luther King. And Vernon Johns was someone who was, for his time, he was too radical. He was someone, you know, a lot of blacks have the attitude, which was a big complaint about Booker T. Washington, when you had three of the great black leaders during their time. You had Marcus Garvey, W.E.B. Du Bois, and you had Booker T. Washington. The thing with Booker T. Washington was they said he was an accommodationist. He was about gradualism. W.E.B. Du Bois said, hey, we want our equality. We want it now. And the approach that Marcus Garvey had was, we want equality, we deserve it, but we need to also see ourselves as someone who does, as a group of people who have our own culture to be proud of. See, there's something where you have Booker T. Washington. I read something the other day where he's talking about how blacks, if they had anything to be proud of, is how much they've learned and gained from white society. And that was something that was crap. But it was a belief system. But Vernon Johns, getting to his character, he was someone many blacks were afraid because of his outspokenness and his demand that we stand up for what we deserve, they felt he was causing more problems than he was going to be able to solve. But it's a great story.
My cat's getting sick over here. I hope she's all right.
Now, you said
but
you said that James Earl Jones is an EGOT.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I just want to answer the question. So James Earl Jones played Alex Haley in the movie Roots. So
he also played Malcolm X.
Yes.
But what did he get an Oscar for?
I think it's honorary. But let me find the awards section here on his biography. Personal life, filmography, awards and honors. 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, 2 Tony Awards, a Grammy Awards, a Golden Globe, a SAG Awards, and received an honorary Academy Award. As such, he would be in 2011 honorary Oscar. So as such, he would be a recipient of the EGOT. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. The definition of EGOT is counted on non-competitive awards.
No, he's not a legitimate EGOT.
Okay. So the honorary doesn't count?
Hell no.
Okay. All right.
They had issues, Mike, when they wanted to give the guy who played Uncle Remus an honorary award, which technically would have made him the first black to receive an Oscar.
Yeah. Well, black man.
Yes.
Yeah, because had he won.
Yeah.
So
that's why I said, well, that's not legit.
You dispute that. So yeah, he played Malcolm X in the Greatest, the Muhammad Ali movie.
Right.
He's got over 100 credits. So
here's a question for the family.
Okay.
He was nominated for an Academy Award for which role? For which role?
It's a good question. Does somebody know? I will. Do you want me to check the answer before we move forward?
Anyone know?
An Oscar nomination. I'm not seeing it in his biography. I see that he won the. I don't know. You got me on that one. Let's see.
Was he nominated? Was he nominated for The Great White Hope?
Hang on. I'm using Wikipedia. That's why I can double check this. Great White Hope. Did we go into that? That's our last trailer. So you kind of segued into a Great White Hope, 1970. Jones and Alexander each received Best Actor Academy Award nominations for their performances. Very good. So,
what role did he play in that?
Jack Johnson.
Nope.
Jack Jeffries, I think is what they call him. Jack Jefferson.
Jack Jefferson.
Jack Jefferson. All right. Well, for those who don't know, here's a trailer for The Great White Hope. Let me pull it. Double click. Let's take a minute. I'll check on the cat.
The most honored play in the history of Broadway becomes an electrifying motion picture. The Great White Hope.
I'm not ashamed of wanting Jack for a lover. He's generous and he's kind. He's sensitive. Why are you smiling?
I've embarrassed you, forgive me.
I'm crazy for him, yes. I don't care. It's the truth.
How would you like it if he claims the belt's his because you won't fight him? How would you like it if the whole damn country says, Brady let us down. He let a loudmouth nigger be champion of the world?
As a Broadway play, The Great White Hope won 2 Antoinette Perry Awards. For Best Actor, James Earl Jones.
Now, most white folks, of course, are behind the White Hope. Brady's the redeemer of the race, and so on. But you, Jack Jefferson, are you the Black Hope?
I'm black and I'm hoping.
Any idea, Jack, why you smile when you're fighting?
I'm a happy sort of person and it always feels good, huh? And when I'm fighting, I feels double good. So what do I want to put a face on for? And besides, it's a sport, right? Like a game. Well, I like whoever I'm hitting to see that I'm still his friend.
For Best Actress, Jane Alexander.
Why can't you wait and give me one chance to make you happy? Only one! I swear I've never had one!
As a Broadway play, The Great White Hope won the Pulitzer Prize for playwright Howard Sackler.
I'm in the prime of my life. I'm gonna fight. Look at my turn to be the champion of the world. I'm taking my turn.
Jack?
I'm a federal marshal, Jefferson. At 10 a.m. this morning, you drove Miss Eleanor Backman across the Illinois-Wisconsin state line. Having done so, you proceeded to have relations with her. Under the Mann Act, that makes you liable. Therefore, I'm placing you under arrest.
And it also won the New York Drama Critics Award for Best Play of the Year.
You're not your own man anymore, Jack.
Now you're old.
How can you be your own man when they have you? They do and you know it.
A devastating play becomes an unparalleled motion picture.
Every time you push that pinched up face in front of me, I see where it done got me. I don't want to give you nothing, you understand? I'll cut it off first. Hombre. You give me a break, for God's sake.
The Great White Hope. So great.
Yeah, so that's just a refresher. So there's questions here. Darlene asks, has he ever done a Cosby episode? I'm not seeing it on his filmography on Wikipedia, but I could be wrong.
Great White Hope is like one of the films I discussed with the 3D effect, but Jane Alexander, having done that first on stage, man, the letters she received playing that part, people threatened to kill her. She was vilified. For an actress, especially early on, to do a role like that, it was something where you have to applaud her for doing it. But she caught hell for that role. And what's interesting, if anyone knows about Jack Johnson, who was called the Galveston Giant, the first black heavyweight champion, he was a very dark man. The fact that James Earl Jones played the part, he's a big guy. James Earl Jones is a big guy, but he's light. He's very light. And so that colorism was important because one of the things when they would bring blacks and whites together in a romantic lead, they really didn't want to have two black, either a woman, black woman, or a black man. At one time, Brock Peters played the part. And Brock Peters is someone you would never see him in a film in a romantic role. And one of the things is because of his dark skin, he was always relegated to villainous, hypersexual black men roles. And so the most prominent one he did in that iteration is the Porgy and Bess.
Yeah, I was trying to find the Coming to America clip for you guys, but no, I appreciate the insight. What so
I was going to say a lot of things. What happens is James Earl Jones, who, like I say, he's a giant. But what was so commanding about him is the presence, how he could he had a screen presence. But the other thing that was overriding for him was that commanding voice.
Yes.
That commanding voice. An actor who came close to that but never really achieved any kind of great stardom was William Marshall. And
Dracula.
and in terms of black men who played masculine roles on the screen, James Earl Jones was basically in film a supporting star.
Yes.
Okay, he had a few leading roles, but for those black actors who were recognized for their screen presence and their commanding voices, William Marshall and the person who was the pioneer was Paul Robeson.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Paul Robeson earlier in the chat. So
interestingly enough, if people want to research James Earl Jones, he played Paul Robeson on stage. That was a controversial role for him. Now, as I told you before, because we're celebrating the life of James Earl Jones, a lot of times what we don't want to do is to bring up the controversial part. But in terms of role playing, one of the most controversial roles he ever played, and one he received a great deal of negative criticism from his own people, was when he played when he played Paul Robeson, which many people felt he should not have played that role in the way it kind of ascribed a great deal of negativity towards Paul Robeson.
We got to shout out our mods. We got Voyeur, Chris Dragnet, and of course L Brown here. Just to give everybody a heads up, if you're just tuning in, it's the bottom of the hour. We're paying tribute to James Earl Jones, and later at 9 o'clock or so, we'll have a premiere of The Man, starring James Earl Jones, on Real Black 1. So, yeah.
Interesting thing about The Man.
Thank you.
It's one of those few films that was made for TV, and because it generated so much discussion, it was released to the theaters.
Yes. I actually have a poster for The Man somewhere.
Oh.
Oh, let me see. I'm going to disappear for a second. Tell people what you're holding up.
That's when we went to see the two giants of theater and film, Tyson and James Earl Jones, when they appeared on stage. I believe it was 2015, the Gin Game. And we were hoping we would get to see them so they could sign our posters and whatnot, but
oh, they came so
they weren't taking any
for yeah, they went so fast. I mean,
yeah,
didn't even have a chance to see them coming. They were in and out so quick, both of them. But it was legendary to see Cicely Tyson and
that was an interesting date because we left that theater and when we went over and they were playing The Color Purple.
Color Purple, yeah, it was letting out right at the same time. Oh, you got that too? Okay, all right. Somebody who can't find anything. Well, I got another one for you, and then we'll start to wrap it up after we address some. Can
I say something right quick?
Yeah, sure. We got a question here too.
A personal shout out to old Dragnet, and I told you to give my best wishes to one of our favorites, is Mr. Voyeur.
Yeah, he's here now too. He's saying hello. So we got Chris, Voyeur, and L.
And hold
things down.
And I told you, I was thinking about L because I'm going to discuss with you. I got some ideas because one of the people I met because of L is I think she was homeschooling her daughter. So I have some things I want to start. I want to see if people be open to a little things where I do helpful mnemonics to help kids remember important concepts in history and mathematics.
Fantastic. All right, I might. This is a long clip. I'm just going to play a little piece of it. But this is my favorite movie. This always makes my top 5 list of favorite movies of all time. So I got to share this moment.
Good news, Akeem. We've been rescued.
Where are my parents?
They've gone to the McDowell's house to look for you.
Come with me.
Where are we going?
Back to Queens.
Wow, look who's here. Come in, come in. Welcome to Casa de McDowell. Just come right in.
What is Akeem?
He just stepped out. Probably went for a pizza. You know these youngsters. Well, this must be your lovely wife. How are you today?
Oh, very well, thank you.
I don't know whether to shake your hand or kiss it or bow or what. I feel like breakdancing.
That's my favorite line in the movie. That and when the Jerry curl juice is dripping down the back of the couch. It's some hilarious stuff. But
where the guy who played the Jerry curls,
Eric LaSalle.
Eric LaSalle. He was a student of one of my martial arts teachers.
Okay. Small world. So I mean that he played regal characters all along. Any final thoughts? I mean, again, I got to get ready for class tomorrow. I know you have things to do. No puns.
Well, you know what, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you're teaching school.
Okay. Oh shit. All right. Oh, here we go. All
because
right.
That's the only way you'll have any class.
I knew it was coming. 7:37. It's a lot later than I expected. We came on at 6:45, so almost an hour. I was thinking the over/under was about 5 minutes, but all right, you got me on that one. So, in closing, and stick around 9:00. We'll have a live premiere of The Man, starring James Earl Jones as the first Black president. But any final thoughts as we reflect on the life, the legacy, the career of the late great James Earl Jones, Mr. Woods?
Well, I'm hearing it from you. Did they say what he died from?
Well, I don't know if that's been reported. They said he died this morning. He's age 93. So, and he's been working as late as 2019. So,
yeah, he's been busy. He's been busy, but he was a giant. One of the things is he's someone who didn't just have a successful career because of his screen presence, but also, there are a lot of things where that voice. What's that? The Lion King. He was outstanding in that, and the many. I mean, he's reading the Bible. Someone said you can give him the telephone book, and he can make that exciting because of that voice. But he's inspirational because he's another person who overcame a natural disability, but he worked on it. And boy, did he work on it to the point where he had a commanding voice, and he did what he had to do where he wouldn't. I mean, every now and then he said he would have those bouts where, he'd have those issues where you couldn't speak and have that fluidity that was necessary when you would speak. But his voice also, he'll be remembered for that.
I got to Google this one. Lanaya says he was on Sesame Street. If there's a clip of that, we got to play that. So No, I appreciate the recap. I'm just bear with me for a second, because James Earl Jones on Sesame Street is a clip for the ages. Sesame Street. Oh, he's counting. Oh, I've seen this. Yeah, you'll like this one. Let me see if I can pull it up real fast. So, this is James Earl Jones. This is a good way to close, actually. James Earl Jones from the Great White Hope period of his career. Oh, and there's a famous clip. I don't want to get into it. If you go to Hezekiah News, there was a clip of him defending his interracial relationship, which I remember from that same time period. He was a very progressive minded person, if we can say that, right? Does that make sense? Is that a fair thing to say?
Well, like I said, it's interesting. There's this nexus between the problems I said Jane Alexander faced doing that role opposite him in Great White Hope, and then he had to defend his marriage to a white woman, and that was something. The way he defended it, a lot of people didn't like him for that.
Yeah, let me see if that's still up. It might be on Soul. He did that one. Yeah, black woman. This might have been on our channel at one point. I don't recall. Oh, it was Hezekiah News had it, so I didn't play with that. I'll just go cut to the chase. If you click James Earl Jones on black women, it's a very good clip. But let's close with the late great James Earl Jones on Sesame Street.
B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Classic. Thanks for the reminder. I love when the teamwork makes the dream work. That's something that I vaguely remembered. I wouldn't have made the obit if not for the chat. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Woods, for your time. And most importantly, thank you, James Earl Jones, for your service. You really presented a dignified. BB's getting a little smart. James Earl Jones would not be good seeing him play an ignorant part. He never did. He always kept it regal and of quality. So he was a gold standard, and he'll be missed. I think his voice has been cloned though for the Star Wars. So, but
well, I'm gonna tell you what the missionary told the cannibals in Africa.
Okay.
I was happy to serve you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you, Charles. Rest in peace, James Earl Jones. Thank you, Mod Squad. Thank you, family. We had about 105 people in the room live. And hopefully you all come back in about an hour and 15 minutes as we do this live for our premiere of The Man, starring James Earl Jones, also on Real Black One. Peace and blessings, family. We love you. Talk to you soon. See you soon.